Welcome to my webinar. Today I'd like to talk to you about how to land an amazing skill bridge and how that's going to really feed into your post-military career. With all said and done, and further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So right here, go on 7eagle.com. Remember me right there on the screen, Jason Booth, when you do sign up for our talent network. All right, so a little bit about 7 Eagle. Our mission is to help veterans and service members get a rewarding career. We have 40 plus recruiting managers and folks that work for 7 Eagle all over the nation. We have over 1,000 connections over the past 8 years, and we specialize in cybersecurity and information technology. So an overview for SkillBridge. If you're not aware, you can leave military service 6 months early, 180 days prior to your end of service. How this works is you end up working as a full-time intern, and you can garner and gain that experience that's really, really helpful for your next chapter of your life. You don't have to report to your military unit. You're essentially done. You'll still maintain and receive your BAH, your base pay, and your health insurance, which is important just in case you still get hurt or something like that. The end goal of this is to pick a good internship, pick a good skill bridge with a company that is going to turn that into a W-2 employment. That way you're set up, you got a job, and you've already been doing it for about 6 months. Our goal for you is we will promote you and push you out to multiple different hiring companies. Say you get out, say it's not just a skill bridge anymore. When you're an actual veteran, you have your DD-214, we'll still help you with that too. We're your eyes and ears for career opportunities that come up, and you maintain full control. If one of our recruiting managers contacts you and says, "Hey, I got this SkillBridge opportunity. Are you interested in it?" You can just flat out say, "No, I'm looking for something else." You have full control. So this is how we kind of promote you out there. With all of our clients and stuff like that. You'll have a short little snapshot, 7-second video. That way the clients will have a chance to see your face, put a name to your face, and it just really sells you. There's a 7-second video intro. It's just a real quick down and dirty career highlights. You'll upload your resume and they make sure we got all that type of stuff. This page is private and it's password protected. So if you're worried about putting your military service out there to just everybody, you don't have to worry about that. So why should you consider a SkillBridge internship? Well, first and foremost, you garner valuable civilian work experience. It has a high probability and it helps to leverage you to gaining that W-2 employee position, a paid employee. So you already got a job. It makes your transition into your post-military career, the second chapter of your life, if you will. Makes it easy. It's a stressful time. I get it. I'm on SkillBridge right now. So very recently I had to go through that myself, and having it squared away early makes a world of difference. You're able to focus on learning your new position. You're free of your military obligations. So you're not going to have to worry about writing that declaration for your subordinates or worrying about, prepping for another physical fitness assessment. You don't have to worry about that. And as I touched on earlier, you don't have an obligation to accept an offer from any of our recruiting managers that may contact you. Again, you can just be like, that one's not for me. I'm looking more for this. And we'll just keep on going. The success rate is awesome. So if you get picked up for an internship, you have a very, very, very high probability. You see on the screen, it's 90% plus in order to get hired on for being a paid employee in W-2 position. You should only consider SkillBridge opportunities that are in line with your salary that you want, with your location, and what the industry goals are, like say cyber IT, so on. It's a great opportunity to test drive a potential future employer without risk. You got 6 months in order to try it out. Sometimes less, but more is usually better. And if it turns out that at the very end of it, you don't want to work with that employer for SkillBridge, then hey, that's fine. Shake hands, wash your hands of it, and move on to the next year. Now, why companies love the SkillBridge program and the interns that they're getting is it saves them money. It's huge. You see the numbers up there. Employers see that and they're like, man, I can save $30,000 in the first year that I have this spectacular worker working for me. It gets their attention. Again, you have no obligation. They have no obligation to convert over to a W-2 employee. So it gives them the flexibility, just like it gives you the flexibility. They're also able to access new and highly experienced talent that's coming from a lot of cutting edge technology from the military. It makes you very marketable and highly desirable. And for a lot of these companies, it's a patriotic act in order to hire on a local hero. Say you're going back home or something like that. So what you do need to do is you need to determine the best career path for you. That's first and foremost. Keep in mind, you deserve a high salary and job satisfaction. You stepped up and served your country. So, I don't want to say it's just owed to you, but it's something that you definitely deserve. Make sure you pick something that you have passion for and you really feel connected to making a difference. If you're not sure of what to do, you can do informational interviews. Be confident. You have so many soft skills that you've gained from the military that employers want and need, and they're in very high demand. So know your worth. Be confident in those interviews. And just keep in mind, it's okay to pivot from something that is non-MOS, or if you're Air Force, AFSC, whatever specialty you had in the military, it's okay to pivot away from that to do something that you want to do, to gain that experience in something that you want to do for the next chapter. So all that said, be flexible. Starting off, when you first get that W-2 employee position, it may be less money than what you really want. You got to start somewhere. You can do your searches and things like that. The first job you get is going to be the hardest, that first position. And then you kind of just build and go from there. So it's just like when you first join the military, that first rank probably was not very fun, but it got better after that. Be flexible in relocation. Try not to pigeonhole yourself to one particular city, kind of have that flexibility of I'll take this job, say it's, 30 miles away from family or 50 miles away from family. Chances are you're still going to be a lot closer than you were when you were in the military and away from your family. So be flexible. All right, pitfalls to avoid. These are some important ones. Starting late. Please, 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 please. Like the link that was at the beginning of this slideshow in this webinar presentation, join our network. We can shotgun you out to so many different folks, literally thousands of companies. Don't wait. Procrastination will bite you in the butt. Don't apply to jobs that are above your skill sets. Now, the caveat to that is, like I had said earlier, it's okay to pivot to something different, but you still got to have skill sets that the employer is going to be looking for. They're not just going to, I don't know, if you're used to, say, standing at the gate and providing security or a law enforcement function, and you have zero skills, zero experience in, say, cybersecurity, employers are probably going to be a lot more reluctant to pick you up. Don't require an overinflated salary, and make sure you're marketable. If you're not marketable, now is the time to start really garnering those skills to make you more attractive to a protective or prospective employer. Not helping your commanding officer. So this is important too, because with the SkillBridge program for the Department of Defense, your commanding officer is your approval authority. Said and done. They may not be educated. They may be a new commander, and they may not have done this process before. So make sure you're working in conjunction with your commanding officer and helping them out and keeping them educated and in the loop and so on. And then when you do your video intro, or anytime you're interviewing or any of that for any of these skill bridges, really project that energy and passion and just be enthusiastic, and that'll go far. Just don't be lackadaisical or just, all right. Another pitfall to avoid is a mediocre resume. There's a lot of resources that you have at your disposal through, like, your transition assistance program that is congressionally mandated before you separate. If you haven't signed up for that, they will also help you really polish your resume. You don't want something that's just lackluster or mediocre or any of those things. You want to be able to stand out. Weak interviewing skills. So that's another thing your transition assistance program will help you with, is how to conduct an interview, a job interview. And we'll touch on more of that. An unimpressive LinkedIn profile. So my own personal experience with this was, when I went through the transition assistance program, I created a LinkedIn at their request. And I'm like, okay, well, what's this thing for and stuff like that. I didn't really add much into it, but it's hugely important. It is hugely important to network on LinkedIn. And a lot of that is making sure that your profile, for when people are going to look you up, and you should put your LinkedIn URL on your resume itself, they're going to look you up. And if your profile looks like garbage, or it's just like, say, a picture of you and nothing really stands out about it, they're going to look right over you. So be impressive, polish that up. Another pitfall, like I had said before, I can't stress this enough. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Because if you have less than 90 days available to intern, the less days you have, the less attractive you are to the prospective employer. If they're getting a full 180 days to 6 months of work out of you that the Department of Defense is paying for, that's a lot more attractive than if you have less than 90 days with them. So there's a value associated with that. And then don't start too early with applying to jobs. If you're 2 years from your date of separation, a little bit early. You might want to slow roll that a bit until you're about a year out. All right, most popular questions. Does Seven Eagle Group guarantee me a SkillBridge internship? No. That's entirely between you and the companies that we've worked with who are going to evaluate you. What is this going to cost me if I register for Seven Eagles Talent Network? Zip, zero, zilch. So hiring companies are the ones who essentially pay a fee if you're hired. And we're not going to let that fee really prevent you from landing that position. So if it's an absolute perfect position for you, something you really want to do and stuff like that, but the hiring company just doesn't want to be able to, or they can't, maybe they're a startup company, they can't pay that fee. Well, we'll waive it if necessary. We're not going to let that fee prevent you from landing a no kidding dream position where we work for you basically. Can I determine which company I intern with? Absolutely. As I stated before, you have absolute full control. If you don't want it, one of our recruiting managers contacts you and you don't want that job, tell them no. You have that right. You have that authority. You're not bound by any type of contract. Now, keep in mind, you must get hired first, though, and it's very competitive, and lots of people are chomping at the bit and applying. We'll give you the opportunities, but you eventually have to jump on one of those. Is Seven Eagle Group my hiring company? No. We're the middleman. We're like the bridge between both of those. And it's a cliche term with SkillBridge and all this other stuff, but just picture it that way. We're like a bridge between two islands, between you and your commanding officer approval and the actual hiring company. Seven Eagle is that pathway between both of those. When will you send me a training plan and offer letter? This will be important when you actually go to apply for your SkillBridge that your commander is going to have to approve. You need to upload a training plan and that offer letter from your hiring company. But when will we send you one? That's after you get hired by the actual company. We can't give it to you early. We have to wait. Can I work remotely from home? That all depends. Some companies are perfectly cool with remote work or in person or a hybrid of both of those. It's really just up to that company. And again, as I stated before, the flexibility of relocation will open up a lot more opportunities to you. I've identified a company on my own that wants to hire me. Can I work there? Possibly, yeah. Just let your Seven Eagle Group POC, again, when you register for that talent network, look for Jason Booth when you register, and I'll be able to do my best to make that happen. We'll jump through hoops for you. How can I increase my chances? All right. Enroll in that talent network. Sign up on our website. It's really easy to do. Walks you right through it. It takes maybe 5 minutes. So don't wait. Get that going. Let your commanding officer, give them a heads up. Hopefully you get a chance to talk to him or her, and you can kind of have that rapport and get that approval and that whole ball rolling. That way it's no surprise last minute, like, oh, hey, so-and-so is trying to SkillBridge, blah, blah, blah. So makes it easier. Improve your marketable skills. And while you're still in, try to get some certifications knocked out. Can I explore opportunities on my own or talk to other recruiters? Of course. You're not bound to us by a contract. But you got to look out for number one. So do whatever is necessary to help yourself. But just know that we are a resource, and we specialize in helping veterans land that awesome career. That's what we do. Lastly, join the SkillBridge Talent Network. Select Jason Booth, me, as your recruiting manager when you sign up.